Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth. Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I am Mark Jackson and I'm your host. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Awesome interviews and awesome music. If you want to contact me, hit me up at metalforgeradio@gmail.com or visit the website metalforgeradio.com. And now let's get this show on the road. What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. Holy shit, how are you all this week? I am alright. It is the 21st of April. Holy shit. By the time this is being released, that is. Not by the time you are listening to it. Because by the time you are listening to it, it could be May the 4th be with you. Or it could be Halloween of 2029. I don't know when you're listening to this show. I just know that you're listening, right? Anyways, yeah, fucking in a silly mood today. I have Paladin here in the Metal Forge, and we are going to be talking about this. I'll go ahead and tell you all, this was recorded a couple weeks back. This is before all their van problems and so on and so forth. And thank you all so much for helping out with their van issues while they've been on tour. Oh my fucking God, man. That's like the most like horrific thing I think anybody can like go through as a touring musician. Yeah, I'm being facetious, of course, because yes, there are a lot more horrifying things that can happen out on the road. But like, it's always weird, and you know, like that whole deal of getting to a place and not being able to get home, and you know, you all have really come through for Paladin this week, and that's awesome. That's metal as fuck right there. So seriously, you guys are fucking amazing, and thank you all so fucking much from the bottom of my metal fucking heart for them, because that's rough and tumble shit, man. Like, I've broken down on the road before, and it is fucking terrifying, especially when you're like 800 miles from home or 1,000 miles from home. You really gotta, it's like, I gotta hawk fucking gear to fucking get home. And honestly, looking back on the situation, I think I probably would have something, whatever I could anyways. Definitely not the bass, but definitely the bass cabinet and the fucking, especially knowing now that I wouldn't be using cabinets live. Fuck. So anyway, yeah, Jason is going to be sitting in on this interview as well. He is fucking back in the Metal Forge. We've had some really awesome conversations lately, Jason and I, with the Flamekeeper Podcast Network and the Alehorn, the Mudhorn, and the Metal Forge. All of that cool shit, and the Unsleeved. Speaking of which, we both put out an Unsleeved this past weekend. And have you checked it out yet? Because you should have. You should have checked it out and subscribed and shared, as you should always do for the bands, the Metal Forge, and, all of that cool shit. But yeah, I'm talking about some cool mail stuff that I got from Shadebeast, one of the sponsors here. You know who they are. Shadebeast.com, and use the code SithLord at checkout for free domestic shipping in the United States. Hell yeah. So some of that stuff I talked about the new Night Demon album Outsider, and the new 72 Seasons vinyl by Metallica. I will be doing a reforged Unsleeved 3, like a 3.5 actually, when I actually get the CD version, and I'll add that to it, and I'll do that with both albums, because I'm sure I'll get the Night Demon on CD as well. And they were both moderately priced. The Night Demon was $25. The Metallica was $30 for a double disc, and that's cool. But anyways, so I'm just yakking away here, If you get a chance, check out Harold and Angela Garland and Anthony Rutherford's show, Local Overload, on crossfire-radio.com. They do new shows every single Thursday, and it's live. And they play a bunch of unsigned independent bands. They'll do cover songs and they'll play a national on there. They'll play a Metallica song if they went to see Metallica or whatever. But they'll do covers of bands, but they are really putting feet to the pavement. They always have, for like the last decade. They're almost at every single show in the Louisville area. If you've came through town, you will probably get to meet them. If you're coming into town and you go to a show at one of the fine establishments here in the Kentuckiana area, whether you're in Indiana or Kentucky, you might actually end up running into them, because they go to a fuck ton of shows all the time, and super fucking awesome. And thank you all three, for your continued support of the Metal Forge and Overload. I love you all, and you all kick fucking ass. So who's ready to hear some fucking Paladin? I know I am. So let's see, what are we going to play from them today? I do have some pretty cool fucking stuff from them. Let's listen to Awakening. right, Maniacs, I'm being joined on the line right now from a couple of people, one of which you already know because he's done this a couple of times. He's Mr. Jason Gardner from the Alehorn, the Mudhorn, and the Heavy Metal Wasteland.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Dude, it's awesome to have you like co-hosting some of these interviews and everything, because like back in the radio days of this show, you know, I regularly had people come in all the time. Everybody was an in-person guest. So it was just like so cool to throw back and forth to people. But why we're here today is we have Mr. Taylor Washington from the band Paladin from Atlanta, Georgia, here in the Metal Forge. Taylor, how the fuck are you doing?
Oh, man. I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Dude, seriously, like, thank you. And you know, Jason was the one who kind of reached out to you to have you be a part of the Metal Forge.
Well, especially thank you, Jason.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I saw you guys here in town at the auditorium last time you guys played. So it was like, I should have these. When I started doing this with Mark, I was like, I should have these guys on pretty soon. And then you had the tour with Ex Mortis out west. I was like, yeah, we need to talk about that, because Ex Mortis is one of my favorite bands also. So it's,
hell yeah,
like, yeah, super cool that that you get the opportunity.
Hell yeah. So how is like what before we get into Paladin here, what is like the Atlanta scene like down there? Because I know you've got like Amos promotes a bunch of shows down there, but like seriously, how is the actual Georgia scene?
Man, it's kind of hard for me to say personally after COVID, especially because I've been, I mean, of course, you know, that did everything that it did,
right,
with regards to like it shutting everything down, especially the live music industry, and all the bounce back and everything that's had to go on. But I've been working so much, not in like a good way, just bullshit day job work, that I haven't even gotten out too much post COVID to really see what the scene is like now.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem, I mean, it seems to have not really changed too much from what I can tell. There's still shows happening all the time, every week, pretty much every day, it seems like.
Right.
And the same people are coming around. Everybody kind of knows everyone else. So whenever I do get out to a show, it's, you know, oh, hey, I'll like miss 70% of the show because I'm talking to people or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was me last night.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's good. It's you know, we've still got a bunch of different kinds of bands, and like I just said, everybody's friendly, everybody's cool with each other, and even weird billings for shows still works out. You know, you can have a grind band and a power metal band, and everybody has a good time.
Nice. See, that's one of the things, like, you know, with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of that stuff today, it is kind of, you know, unless you're actually directly following somebody, you know, then you get all of their updates, which is totally cool, but like you can still miss out on so much stuff that's been going on.
Oh yeah.
Because like I don't know how big Asheville is, Jason.
Not very. I have guests and have small kids and like running around, so I'll make sure that none of that bleeds into the audio.
Fuck it. My cats were scratching at the door, and okay. I had to go open the door, which I usually keep the restricted access going, because they're being all weird these days. But anyways, how big is Asheville, Jason? It's about the same size as Louisville, I guess.
No, it's pretty small. There's only like I think the population is like couple 100,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's not many venues, especially for metal. So
okay. Well, see, with here in Louisville, I mean, like, we have shows all the fucking time. You know, Jason knows about Metal Monday because he and I talk about it all the time. But we've got like the Metal Mondays. We obviously have like our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows type stuff. But like in a big ass city like Atlanta, I mean, I can only imagine how much more shit there is going on.
Yeah, it's hard. I guess it's hard for me to say because I've never lived anywhere else. I've lived in Georgia my whole life. So
should I apologize right there or something? I kind of feel like I should, but I'm kidding.
You should.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you probably should, especially for the until I graduated high school. So the first basically half of my life, I lived in a very small town. It was still like a 40-minute, 1 hour drive from Atlanta, so it wasn't like too far away from civilization.
Wow.
But, it was.
See, like I got cousins and stuff that live down there now, so yeah, I totally get it. But yeah, that's totally cool. Like I could only imagine like living in a big ass city like that and seeing like, how they have radius clauses and shit like LA does, and you're just like, what? Wait a minute. It's like, are we really there? But we're here for Paladin, not to talk about the Georgia scene, which is always cool because, we like to be informative here on the show sometimes as well.
Yeah. I mean, from an outsider's point of view, being 4 hours away, Georgia seems pretty healthy in the metal scene. I mean, you got Sabbath Brewing, you have I can't think of the one with the 3 levels.
Masquerade.
Yeah, Masquerade. There's quite a few other ones, and it seems like there's really good shows there all the time.
I don't know.
A lot of bands come up here play. We're actually playing with Guillotine AD next Sunday here in town, a death metal band from down there. So,
nice.
Yeah, Atlanta has a lot to offer, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we do. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No,
you're good.
But we do have. Yeah, we do get a lot of. Touring bands come through. There are lots of venues, like mid-level or bigger, and definitely smaller, and so there's a place for kind of every level of band, and even sort of get tangential, even non-metal bands you can find, or like but still sort of adjacent to that. You can find shows probably most every night to go to if you really want to. And shit, I was gonna say something else and now I can't remember. So
dude, I think that's the metalhead thing. It's like we always have the next thought and then we lose it because it's like we keep wanting to add to the next thing, and it's like, oh shit, man, what was that? But no, like I don't know if it's still there or not, but I think it was 529.
529 is still there.
Yeah.
I know what I was going to say. That we've also got a couple like festivals happening. Like Amos has Mass Destruction Fest, which is big and getting bigger. I can't remember what year we're on now. This is like 4 or 5 maybe. Clearly, I'm well researched, and
just as much as we are here.
And we also have our friend Emily Harris. She put on the first Blast Beats and Brews festival last year, which we also played, and she's doing a second one this year. So that's cool. It's outside, and she gets a bunch of local breweries to sort of make band themed, I guess, beers and stuff for the festival, and they sell it there, and it was great last year, so I'm sure this year will be even better.
Hell yeah.
Of course, Prog Power is here for all the nerds every year.
Yeah, you played that, didn't you? Prog Power?
We did, yeah. We got to play in 2019, the last one before the pandemic.
So is this the first one back from the pandemic?
It's weird because normally they have it every September, and it finally came back last year in 2022, but they had it in like June because it just kept getting pushed back and just, like everything, COVID fucked it all up. So they ended up having it in June, and now this year it's going back to its regular September slot.
Right on. See, that's my thing. As I've never played any festival shows outside of the summer. So, like, anytime we played outside festival shows, it's always been in, like, July, where it's the hottest fucking time of the year, and there's, like, no cover, and it's fucking, like, you know, it's 100 fucking degrees in the Midwest, and I don't know if you've ever been to Louisville or not, but it's fucking, oh my God, the humidity is terrible through the summertime here. It's like, you walk outside and you're wet. from the water in the moisture in the air and shit. But like, it's either you play at like 7 o'clock when it's still like super bright out, or you play at like midnight where it's just still super saturated and just dark and miserable. But let's go ahead and talk about Paladin here. You know, I typically consult the metal archives for a lot of stuff here, and it shows that you all got together in 2015, and y'all put out a demo.
That sounds right. I'll go with that.
Right. So tell everybody out in Metal Forge Land about Paladin.
So, well, we play, I guess, thrashy power metal. And I guess we can get really basic with it. 4-piece. We have one album out, and I wrote pretty much everything for that. I'm the singer. I play guitar for it, and it's very. My vocals get compared to Iron Maiden a lot, but you know, it's thrashy power metal. It's got some Melodeath stuff in it, and yeah, we probably started back in 2015. A couple of us were in another band that we were playing some songs that went on to be Paladin songs with that band, and then it broke up and sort of dissolved, and 3 of the 4 of us formed Paladin and continued on, and then, you know, a couple personnel changes later, and here we are.
So has it always been you, and who else has been in the band the whole time? Like,
the only 2 constants have been me and Alex, the other guitarist.
Okay. So you've swapped out drummers and bassists and stuff since forming all the way back in 2015.
Yeah, and we did we've only had one change for each role. So originally it was us 2 and then the drummer from the previous band I talked about, and he quit pretty, you know, like a few months later or something, and we found our current drummer Nate, and later that, like the end of 2015. So he's been with us since then. And then our current bass player Andy, he joined like right after we had finished recording the album, I think. So maybe 2018, 2017, something like that. It must have been 2018.
Right on. So, you know, you hit on something a minute ago, and I kind of want to bring this up because of being, you know, Jason's a musician, I'm a musician.
I'm a drummer. Let's slow down a little bit.
You're a percussionist, sir. You are a percussionist. That's a fancy word for drummer.
Yeah.
No. But no, we're all musicians here, and I think a lot of the people that listen to the show are musicians as well. But, like, we all do that thing that you'd kind of said a minute ago, was you were in a band, and then you were writing, and you had songs that eventually became Paladin songs.
Yep.
Which, like, I think that's interesting because I think we all do that to a degree, because I know my band did. Jason, did you guys ever do that? Did you have like a holdover thing that you had worked on from a previous band and you're like, oh, hey, I got this from a older band?
No, I didn't. I've only been in 2 bands, and we never played anything from my first band because the drummer didn't have any riffs or anything. So,
right.
I learned their old song, but we don't even play any of those anymore either. So
right on. So I think that's interesting to see like how a song changes over its lifetime, I guess.
Oh yeah.
The way, like, I don't know, say, anything happens, like Master of Puppets, playing it at a demo out, live on in 1984 versus its album release in 86, that's kind of cool stuff to me.
Yeah, and it was with those songs, the Paladin songs that were, I guess, repurposed or whatever. It none of the actual music changed, I don't think, from band to band, but the original band prior to Paladin that I was playing those with, there was no singing at all. It was all just harsh vocals, and which also originally is how like the direction we started out when we started. We're like, let's keep it similar to the old band and just do harsh vocals, and that didn't last very long. But anyway, so I had to rework. When I decided to put singing in it, I had to create vocal melodies, and I had written these songs with only harsh vocals in mind too. So I had to like rewire my brain to, or at least how I thought of these songs, and sort of see them a little differently, come up with melodies, and also obviously I had to change the lyrics that were written too, because I didn't write it. It was the other band's lead guitarist, vocalist.
Yeah, right. Which that makes sense. You would change the lyrics, a la Four Horsemen Mechanics, I guess. Where you don't want to sing the other guy's words for sure, because I've been there. It's like, how can I get behind this if it's not something that I wrote, I guess.
Yeah. And we still have one song. There was still one song on the album that our original drummer wrote lyrics for, which I kept because, it's fine. We didn't. I didn't have a problem with them song wise or lyric wise, and we're not. We were still on good terms. So it's not like I wanted to write him out completely.
Definitely. No, I get that. So back in 2019, you all released Ascension, which is the full-length album. And I love the artwork. I love the blues and everything, and the whites. For being in metal, you don't get a lot of bright light colors like that. It's always dark, it's red, it's black, it's purple. You might get the neons like neon green and stuff like that to go with it. But this is stark, bright.
Well, thank you. And yeah, that was kind of the I guess part of the appeal of it was, to sort of stand out a little bit, be a little atypical versus your standard metal album cover. But we also, I like colorful things. I think Alex does too. We definitely have colorful, bright, obnoxious guitars. So it works out.
Which is funny because I love crazy shaped guitars, but when it comes to colors, I'm just nah. I hate black guitars. I hate white guitars. I hate solid red guitars. I love wood grain. I love natural finish things like that. Which is funny. But weird shapes with it's totally cool. But no, it's interesting because for being a thrash power metal band or power thrash band, whatever you want to call it, having this album cover, it looks like, you would think it would fit hand in hand with going and having an actual, hand painted cover a la something, straight out of the 80s. But this is it's interesting because it's almost as if it's you get the fantasy behind it, because the woman on the cover kind of looks almost like a drow in a way, dark elf kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh wow! I win.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and we didn't actually have it commissioned for us. It was Alex just came across the piece that the artist had did, and I think her name was Nin Chang. I think she went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and he just came across it randomly, and we hit her up about it, and it was actually so we didn't commission it, but
it works.
Yeah.
So that's always interesting to me because like it always, you mentioned the commissioning the artwork thing, because I've noticed in metal bands it's like two things usually happen. Either they get their commissioned work done, or it's like they see something and are like, I fucking want that. And you've got like the ones who say that and just use it, or you've got the ones like you said that like you approached Nin Chang the artist and were like, hey, we would like to use this and blah blah blah. So that's pretty cool, going the right way into doing things.
Yeah,
absolutely. So since that came out in 2019, and obviously the pandemic has done what it's done, what's coming up next for Paladin?
Well, we have a small, like, 3-ish week tour coming up in, what is that, like 3 weeks or something? Not even 3 weeks. Very soon.
Well, since we're talking into the future, you just got back, yeah. I think.
Yeah, we
sorry, gotta fix the curtain there. People can see through it.
What else do we have? We've got that tour coming up with we're doing a bunch of headlining dates. So we're playing a festival in Vancouver, Canada.
Nice.
And we're just, doing a trek there and back. We're playing some shows on the West Coast, actually all California. Not all California, West Coast, with Ex Mortis and Grave Shadow. And me and Alex we've been friends with the Ex Mortis guys, or at least Conan for sure, for years. I don't know how many years. We've never gotten to play a show with them in Paladin.
Okay.
Finally it's happening.
Yeah, definitely. And Grave Shadow, they're really picking up a lot of steam too. I've talked to Rachel about being on the Metal Forge, and we just schedule wise have not been able to make it work. I don't think so. But yeah,
I recognized. I was like, Grave Shadow. That sounds familiar. And I looked him up and saw that Rachel was a singer, and I was like, oh, okay, this is why it sounds.
And she's doing like the Twitch stream stuff, and she does a lot of stuff. I've noticed. We're friends on Facebook, and like she's always busy. And I think they're like LA based or something, and it's like, holy shit, man! It's like flying back and forth or whatever to do practices. I couldn't imagine. Now, is everybody in Paladin around the Atlanta area, or are you all in different areas and have to come in, or how does that work for you all?
No, thankfully we are. We're all pretty close to each other. We're all within the greater Atlanta area. So
I mean, you'll have to like hop on a MARTA bus or something and jump over to practice.
No, we'll just take a regular old car.
Ah, nice. See, I'm digging deep into things I remember from childhood. MARTA bus, the MARTA bus line.
Also got the don't forget the Peach Pass that I never used to use because I'm not a resident.
Yeah. We have that in Louisville. It's called TARC, so they're part of the same company. The bus line. So are you all, what I'm asking with what's coming up next, other than the tour, is are you all actually writing and recording for a new album?
Right. So I've got, it's going to be a sad story, but I did have, I had a bunch of riff ideas and shit from over the years. And I had some song ideas worked out, and then maybe a month ago, my power supply for my computer died, and it took a storage drive with it, as it turned out.
Oh fuck no!
Which had all my recordings and music and some other shit on it too. And I thought I had the recordings and music, like I thought I had symbolic links on those for Dropbox. Basically, I thought I had them backed up to Dropbox, and I did not. And I took it to a data recovery place, and they couldn't do anything because it was a solid state drive, and the actual memory chips
that's like
were damaged, and now it's fucking gone.
That's a horror story. Like, that is a legitimate horror story. And it's like, for me, with the Metal Forge here, I back it up on like 3 different places. Because if one of them ever goes, you know, I'm just like, fuck, man. I can't lose like 4 years of fucking content, you know?
Yeah.
So, dude, that's hardcore.
I'm going to make sure I have Dropbox actually working for those things. And I'm going to have a physical backup as well.
Oh, yeah. Always burn it on CD is my thing. But yeah, man, that's rough shit. Like, I've had that happen where I've had like riffs burn on a CD from like years ago, and then like the CDs over time will deteriorate, especially like the CDRs and shit. Like the reflective material that the data's burned into starts to like flake off. And then you're just like, you lost all that shit that was on there. And it's like, fuck, man, this is terrible. So yeah, losing an entire hard drive, not just from the riffs alone and all that stuff, but I mean, all the countless other things that we back up onto our hard drives now, like fucking family pictures, fucking videos from shows, show pictures, fucking whatever the case may be, you know, our actual work, you know, that's crazy shit to just up and lose.
Yeah, it took me like a whole week to kind of come to terms with that. And even now, it's just like I'm just gonna repress this. I'm just gonna not think about it. And then
right, and then you know, my thing is like, you know, trying to be more metal here. We're all negative shitheads for the most part, but trying to be optimistic in it is maybe, you know. It's the universal thing of saying, it's like, all right, that was this. I'm going to make it fucking better. And I'm going to kick more ass coming out of the gate this time, which is obviously a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to let it get me, weigh me down too much.
Understandable. So I do want to go ahead and switch over here to some general profile questions. And I'm going to have to adjust while I do this, because Jason knows I pull from a deck of cards here, and actually all my decks are now digital. So the fucking Metal Forge is coming into the 21st century. So fuck yeah. So I've got decks of cards that for questions that are all crazy stuff. You know, obviously there's musician-based questions. You know, I think a lot of the would you rather questions are pretty fucking fun too. And since Jason's here, I'm going to get him to answer some of these with us. Does that sound good for you, Jason? This is almost like an interview for you too.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Would you rather have too many allergies or too many phobias?
Oh, man, shit. I think phobias for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go allergies because they make medication for them.
That's a good point. They don't.
But what if
do you want me to do that? Allergy? This is going to bleed into an episode of the Mudhorn here really fast, Jason.
All right,
it's like
ready.
they don't make medications for being a pussy. in the best Arnold voice I could get.
That's right.
No.
At least I wouldn't like potentially die from being afraid of something.
I don't know. I mean, there's those stories out there where people have been fucking scared to death and like actually literally scared into having a heart attack.
Yeah, it's like your heart rate gets up too high, you just go into cardiac arrest.
I guess so.
Yeah, see, that's a rough one.
Dying from eating a piece of bread or something.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, and that's that. Yeah, and you're right. You know, like having like a gluten allergy or some shit like that. I have a friend who has a gluten allergy. She is allergic to actual pepper. So like actual pepper plants, not like black pepper because it's a peppercorn, but like jalapenos, habaneros, bell peppers, all that shit she's allergic to. So it's like, fuck, man. It's like, what can you eat? She's like, I can eat potatoes. It's like, you motherfucker. Because I'm diabetic and the carbs kill my ass. So so yeah, having like something like that, I get that too. Would you rather be more technologically inclined or better with people?
Oh shit! This is like a loaded question for me because I'm already technologically inclined and not very social or socially apt.
Okay.
I'm still going technology. Fuck it.
Right, because fuck people, right? No. I mean,
I was gonna say you're pretty technology inclined because when I saw you guys play the auditorium, you guys play with in-ears and no amps, so I couldn't ever figure that shit out.
Oh come on, dude, you could do that. Oh man, see, that's the fun shit, dude. Like that's when like playing fucking music is like a real fucking pleasure because you're not fucking breaking your goddamn back, fucking carrying huge ass amplifiers and shit.
That is true. My back does appreciate it.
Yeah, see, mine too. See, we do.
Like I said, I'm a drummer, so I have no choice. So I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for any of you guys when you have a heavy cabinet. But no, I would probably take technologically inclined because I can't even figure out how to run a sample through a PA. So
really,
yeah,
you're pretty good with people from your job.
I'm like a fucking caveman over here, man. I just learn what I need, and I'm just good. You know, that's it.
Right, but see, it also seems like too that you're really good with people because of your job.
Yes, I have to talk to people very nicely and lie a lot. Like, oh, your house is so nice.
So you're a politician. No.
Yeah, pretty much. I could be. Yeah, I could be. Yep.
I think we just found life after Temptation's wings for Jason. He's gonna be a politician.
Just like a mayor or something small.
Dude, some of those are funny, especially like when you see the people post about Glenn Jacobs from WWE Kane when he won the mayor of Knox County in Tennessee. People are like, oh, it's the dumbass wrestling mayor. It's just funny shit to me, I guess. Would you rather have Morgan Freeman narrate your life out loud for everyone to hear, or have a theme song played in wherever you walked?
Theme song.
What would it be, though?
I was trying to think as I was saying it. I don't know what the hell my theme song would be. Is it only?
Mine would be Stargazer by Rainbow. I would come in after the drum intro. Like that would be my cue. Like when the riff starts, I would walk in. Yes.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that song too. So, and Dio singing about me would be awesome. So,
maybe I'll just get a really loud Tim Allen grunt instead of a theme song.
There we go.
Like that.
How old are you? You know Home Improvement?
I'm 34, and
okay, I thought that bad. I'm 43, so 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. So
I sort of grew up. It's funny because I just started rewatching Home Improvement.
There's no rhyme or reason why it's just on TBS one day at 10 o'clock in the morning. You're just like, hey, why not? You know?
Yeah.
Well, it was. I grew up with it, sort of. Yeah. I mean, it was. It would come on TV randomly when I was younger, so it's got the nostalgia factor, and also I remember I liked it back then, and I was like, man, I'm gonna watch this fucking show. I don't know why.
Well,
but
I think with Home Improvement, I think that show is like I think it was billed as like the like the Bonehead Man show of the 90s. Like, oh look, he's fucking, he has like a fucking repair show, and it's Tim Allen basically, parodying Bob Vila in like This Old House, but it's more based on like cars and just other shit that you can do around the house type stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like it makes that shift, and it's kind of like it pulls the wool over your eyes, where it's just like, but it's all about the family, and I think that's pretty cool with it.
Yeah, I said I'm started watching it recently, but I'm more like picking it back up because I watched through almost the entire thing a few years ago when it was on Hulu, I think, and then it went away, and then I just recently discovered it was back on, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm picking it back up. Very last season, and I've been pretty surprised by how genuinely good I think it is. I mean, it definitely has its, it's got its like sitcom tropes and dumb shit, and of course it has a bunch of misses as well as hits, but it's got some genuinely like entertaining stuff in it.
It absolutely does. I still think one of my favorite episodes is the soundproof booth, where Tim fools Al into thinking that he made a soundproof like booth, and he goes in, he starts screaming, and you can't hear a word. And he's like, I can't hear anything. We can't hear you at all. And he's like, you should try this out. And Al goes into the booth. He's like, and Tim totally fakes like not being able to hear him. He's like, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. And then he's just like, oh, well, in that case, I should be the host of this show. And he just starts shit talking Tim. And Tim's just like rolling his eyes and shit like that. It's so good. That, and when they have like the astronauts on there is a pretty good episode too.
Yeah, there are a lot of like guest episodes that they have. I just watched one with some of the astronauts.
Oh,
and,
cool.
They would have I can't remember their name now or their group name or any of their names, but the like construction guys who would come in and play
music on like the drummer is playing on like the gas cans and shit.
Yeah, they would do that, or they would like make a grilled cheese with fucking blowtorches and shit.
Yeah,
which sounds dumb as I'm describing it, but
when you're a kid, that shit looks cool.
It's funny you mentioned
I was like 32. It looked cool.
Yeah, right.
It's funny you mentioned the construction workers, because I remember the dude with the long beard and hair,
the drummer.
Yeah, he was in a movie I saw a while back, and it was really hardcore violent. And I remembered that guy being so like nice and shit. And it's like weird how just like it's like, damn, that's the same guy can actually do this. It's kind of like bizarre at times. Like relate to someone being so nice and wholesome to being someone so like evil and cruel,
Now, if I'm not mistaken, is he the same guy? Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking this up as we go because I'm thinking he played in the first edition with Kenny Rogers.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day. But like, that's the weird thing is like Wikipedia is so like sketchy on that shit, like unless you actually know like on older like newer people it's pretty easy to come up with. But yeah, Mickey Jones is his name. He actually passed away back in 2018.
Oh really? Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
So I get in Total Recall here and try to find the one. Yeah, he was in Sling Blade also. I
love his character name in Total Recall, Burly Miner. In Pirates, the film Pirates in '91, he was Wisconsin Dell. Just like cool shit, like weird names, like Man on Show, uncredited. But seriously, like that's some pretty cool stuff, and I should probably go back and rewatch that.
I think so.
I have to say that was a discussion I did not see coming on this episode, Mark.
No, this is almost like the Mudhorn. So this could be like a crossover episode, Jason.
It could, yeah.
Would you rather be a local news anchor or a national weather forecaster?
Forecaster for sure.
Yeah, because you could be wrong half of the time.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, yeah, that too.
I'm gonna go local anchorman like Ron Burgundy.
Dude, you would have to shave.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. You can only keep the mustache if you're an anchor man.
I would be like, go fuck yourself, Asheville, and just be like, oh, it's a good show.
What did you do, Ron? He's like, I read it just like it said.
Right.
Awesome. But I have one more question for the show today. So, as always, links are listed below. So please give a like, a share, and a follow. Follow these guys. Go to shows. Go to the Bandcamp pages or wherever you can. Official pages. Go buy merch. Because that's where real money is made in music, is buying that fucking merch. Because, hey, fucking touring is great. But some, with gas prices the way they are, support these guys and buy a fucking shirt, buy a CD, buy a vinyl, do something like that. Taylor, do you have any fucking shout outs you want to give to anybody today?
Oh man. Shout out to my homie Tim Allen. No. Yeah. Yes.
Was it good?
That was not bad, yeah. Shit, man. Shout outs. I don't know. Shout out to my bandmates. Shout out to everybody who likes this music stuff that we're doing. Anybody that comes to see us on this upcoming tour, or I guess it'll be done by now. So anyone who
came to see us
on the tour, thank you.
I can't fucking keep it straight anymore, man.
Anyone who might have come to be seeing us, yeah.
Let me just say,
everybody.
Let me just say, if you missed this festival, you really missed out. This is a pretty damn killer lineup, and for $70, man, I'm like, hell yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna make my hey, with the current like recession shit, I'm gonna make all my shows $70 to get into.
That's right. Fuck it.
Right. No.
Pull a Ticketmaster or whatever the Live Nation, whatever the thing was. Just charge $5,000 for a ticket.
No shit, man. Like that's another thing that's fucking weird.
That includes fees. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It's a $15 ticket, but there's $4,985 in fees.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that Ticketmaster meme? It's like $25 for the ticket, and then it's like $4.85 parking fee and like $20 concession fee, and it's like $3 because we fucking can fee and shit like that. It cracks me up.
Oh yeah. And
it's like $1. What you gonna do about it? Fee not go.
And the fucked up thing is you can thank people like Vince McMahon for doing shit like Ticketmaster, because he really back in the day pushed all of his sales through Ticketmaster and made, like, when he went in and bought wrestling territories back in the day, that he made them become Ticketmaster sale offices to, when he would keep some of their employees on, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to keep you on, but you got to run this Ticketmaster office for us too. And it was just basically a way that they could keep track of their ticket sales. And it's like, holy shit. And now, 40 years later, it's fucking insane, man. Like, I hate going online and buying tickets through like Ticketmaster and Live Nation and all of that. Just because it's like, you just sit there. And the last time go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say it gives me anxiety, because like, say like when Maiden announces a tour that you want to go see, when it's like a new album tour, or even like the greatest hits tours they do in between, it's like, man, I hope I get good seats. And it's like, you get on there, it's like, you're in line. It's like, okay, I guess, And
oh yeah, and that's
back in the day, I used to just go to a mall and just go to like a FYE, and I'd really be in line. I get there at like 7:30. Ticket's gonna sell at 10.
Yep.
And I just took my chances, but my chances were a lot better than all these people having the same opportunity as I do, you know.
Here's something that I know you probably remember, Jason, but I don't know if you would, Taylor, is the buying tickets over the phone that way.
I only did that one time.
Yeah, like, it's like they would sit there and you would talk to the operator and they were like, I've got 2 tickets at, section 231, row E, seats 6 and 7. It's like, do you have anything closer?
And let me check. And it's like, it takes more time. Tickets are getting sold underneath you while they're looking. Yeah, it sucks.
And I remember doing that and like negotiating with them over the phone and stuff and like trying to get the best possible seat and, being like 14, 15 when I was doing that shit, It's crazy stuff. But anyways, one more question is, goddamn, I'm like having a thing over here. I'm like getting texted by like 45 fucking people. Shit, man. That'll be cut out. So final question of the day. If you could sit in on any recording session throughout history, what session would you choose?
Whoa. Man,
That's pretty hardcore because I have to think about that even for me. What would it be?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Heaven and Hell.
Do you have something, Jason, while he's thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Heaven and Hell album because I love to know how much different it was having to tell Ozzy what to sing than having Dio come in and just be like, no, I got this. Like, what is like the demeanor of the band like how did it go? Like, was the subject matter like all cool with Tony Iommi and Geezer, or like was there discussions about what the lyrics should be, just stuff like that? Because Geezer was all the lyrics of the lyricist for the Ozzy years, so
right. Well, Geezer and Bill,
it would just be interesting to me to see like having a guy come in that just like handles his own stuff, like what that would have been like.
Geezer going, hey, I got these lyrics here, and he's like, I got you.
Yeah,
like puts his arm out and says, "No,
like a little short dude." Like, "Nah, I got this shit. Thank you."
That's awesome. Man. That's a good one because that's a great album to just listen to. And so I was at a show last night and somebody was like, "It's the greatest album of all time." I'm like, "It's pretty fucking good, but is it the greatest of all time?"
There's no such thing as greatest of all time. I'm sorry.
There's definitely not. There is, and it's Volume 4. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that's a good one.
I love
greatest Ozzy album, Sabbath Ozzy album. Yeah, I would say Volume 4.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
You still thinking that, Taylor? About?
Oh yeah, I'll be thinking about this.
Yeah, well, let me go ahead with mine. Is if I were to sit in on anybody's recording session, just to hear it. I'm going to go a little bit off of the path here. I would love to have been present during the Wildflowers album being recorded from Tom Petty. Because it was like one of the last albums recorded at Sound City. It was produced by Rick Rubin. And it was in that time period where Rick Rubin just kind of shifted on everything. And yeah, he was doing the other stuff still, like, he'd done the metal and the rap and everything. But in that part of the 90s, he shifted over into like making real stripped down versions of albums from people. Like that's the American Recordings Cash series, is all of that, like where Johnny Cash recorded Hurt and all of that stuff. I just think it would be a really cool session. And that's also the same session that Mary Jane's Last Dance was recorded on, or whatever the song title is. I think that's the most Mary Jane's Last Dance with Mary Jane, whatever it is. I can never get it straight.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Mary Jane's Last Dance.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That, I think just especially seeing like the release of the box set where it had so much more content that wasn't on the album. I think that's awesome. Are we gonna do the drum roll? Well, you got a big reveal. It's gonna be
not a big reveal.
It's gonna be Led Zeppelin 1, isn't it? No, I'm kidding. Rosemary
Kids
Clooney sings the 40s.
I'm really trying to think because, well, when the Beatles, the Get Back documentary, when all that came out on, was that HBO recently?
HBO Max, yeah.
And watching that was pretty interesting because, I mean, you got to watch the whole creative process, like from essentially nothing for some of the stuff to like real fucking songs and big songs. And I've never been like into the Beatles. I'm not a Beatles fan. I don't hate the Beatles. I just don't, whatever. I'm a Beatles fence sitter.
I get that.
But that was still really interesting, just to see that. And I wonder, whatever session I sit in on, I would want it to be one where they write in the moment like that, where they're actually like hashing out ideas and writing songs in the studio instead of just recording. Just because I like to watch the whole creative process of someone, even though I don't personally work that way at all. I kind of have to be like holed up in my room and just picking my own brain and kind of fumbling through it that way.
Right.
But and I guess that may be why it's even more interesting to me, because I don't that's not the way that I operate. So it's more interesting to see other people who do and do it well and with like really good prolific results.
For sure. That's actually an interesting concept, because none of us do that, I'm sure. I mean, Jason, I'm sure you don't write in the studio.
No, just maybe some guitar solo stuff might get changed. That's about it.
Right. And I don't write in the studio, but you know what? That's the weird thing about today is we pretty much all have recording studios in our houses for the most part. I'm using a Focusrite 2i2 Scarlett 2-channel interface and to record this show with. But like I could totally lay down tracks on that. And, anybody who has their own home studio that can record their drums could do that, and we could all just sit there and write, technically, quote, in the studio, as it were, because think of how many independent bands today just write and record at home now and produce amazing content, like better quality content than a lot of its 70s and 80s and 90s counterparts have been, because the technological change. So that's totally fucking rad. But yeah, I get that about none of us actually doing it, because we've always had that thing ingrained when we actually did go to a recording studio that, that time is money. Get in there, get fucking done, and get the fuck out. Don't spend too much money type shit. You're on a budget.
Yeah.
And
I think for an actual answer, I'm just going to pick something that I really like as a personal record, which is Gretchen Goes to Nebraska by King's X. I just like that album a lot. Okay. It's not metal at all, but I just want to see, I would like to see what they did in the studio and just see them in action.
I am not a big King's X fan. I will admit it's a band that I've kind of slept on, and I have friends who are friends of that band, so it would be cool to I guess I should visit them and see where it's at. I've got a few albums that I've just like picked up over time, but just like actually sitting, that's part of my, we all collect things, I guess, as also, and I just collect albums even if I don't listen to the band. So like, you'll come to my house and see Freddie Fender and shit like that, but like, have I actually listened to it? Probably not, maybe one time, but yeah, it's totally a thing where I think they're definitely worth the dive, I think, to get into.
Yeah, that album especially, I mean, obviously, since I just named it as the studio album I'd want to sit in on. That one probably widely regarded as like their best album, quote unquote.
Right on.
And that's probably the most accessible, the best one to start with. And they changed their sound. It was kind of almost, I don't really even know how to describe the earlier shit. I mean, it had a bunch of like Beatles kind of vocal harmonies and just weird harmonic sections in general, and it's kind of prog tinged in a way, but it was just kind of fucking rock. And then they went a little heavier, almost kind of grungy, but not really.
Right. Well, that's a great album session to pick, just because it's, like I said, mine wasn't entirely metal either. So fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. So anything else on the way out today? Jason, do you have anything?
No. I think all my questions were answered.
Awesome. Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the Metal Forge this week. This has been totally fucking rad, man. Like, it's just a chill conversation, which I dig, man. That's what I've been trying to do more of here, is get into just more chill conversations on the Metal Forge.
Oh yeah. Speaking of chill, it's probably like 55 degrees in my house right now.
Oh God, come on now, man!
I'm literally chilled.
It's like 32 degrees outside right now. For me.
I got home. Yeah, it's like 40. Well, I don't know. It's like 49 here now, so it's not too bad.
Listen here, guys. Y'all can suck it because it was spitting a little bit of snow here earlier. Okay, like fuck that. Y'all are like, oh, it's 35 degrees outside. I'm gonna freeze this. I'm like, motherfucker, that's like fucking. That's hot in the wintertime here. We're like,
yeah,
oh, it's
heat.
fucking in the 30s. Hell
night.
Yeah.
I got home yesterday at some point. I walked in the door because I was gone last night, or not last night, the night before, and it's like, man, it feels cold in here. Oh. My heat's not working. Okay.
Oh, shit. Those are the worst.
And it was okay for, like, yesterday it stayed around, like, the mid-high 60s, even into the night. I was like, okay, that's fine. I can deal with that.
I think it got into the 20s down here, or up here last night, so, yeah.
Yeah, it got into the high 30s at night, and then I wake up this morning and my thermostat said, like, 54. I was like, yep, okay.
We're in the Louisville area. We're in what's called fall spring right now. So like it'll be that way. It'll be like it'll show like it's supposed to be. We've had days where it's been like 60 and 70 degrees, and now it's like fucking 20s and 30s again. So yeah, we're back in second winter.
That's exactly what's happening here. Like this past week has been cold, and before that it was not.
Definitely. So hell yeah, man, thank you again for coming on the Metal Forge this week. Jason, it's always great to have you here. We need to do this a lot more often. On the album, what do you want us to play out today?
Oh man, for me, I get to pick.
Yeah, it's your showcase, man. It's your show, man.
Let's do I vote Call of the Night.
Awesome. So you heard him, metalheads. This is from Paladin. This is Call of the Night.
Hiding in the shadows of the night. Can't you hear me laughing? Moving closer just out of your sight. What do you think will happen? It's time, you'll see. You can't deny your destiny. The night is calling out to you, my faithful friend. Your sword is the ash to blade. Your senses over as you lie. Your vision fades away. Your body waiting just to die. Waking up, consciousness comes rushing in. Don't understand, I thought this was the end. Whoa, tell me why, tell me what just happened. I can't remember, I can't remember, I can't remember.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.